And then somehow they got to Tariq Nasheed. If you remember, Tariq Nasheed was going in just the opposite direction a few years ago. Why did that U-turn occur? Now, like I said,
I was surprised because I watched all the Hidden Colors. That's where I discovered you, from the Hidden Colors, and I'm like, how did you move from the Hidden Colors to this? Like, it doesn't, yeah.
Well, he may not be an agent. He just may be disgusted and tired of thinking that he's being...
So, with all this stuff going on now with the Pan-African situation and the foundational Black Americans. Now, I used to be Pan-African growing up. We was always taught everything was about Africa. But we found out that a lot of Africans wasn't coming here practicing Pan-Africanism. We was the only ones practicing Pan-Africanism. We was the only ones fighting. We have a whole track record and history of fighting for everybody. All people of color. Other groups come here and benefit from it while thumbing their nose at the actual people that fought for them to come here. These are the things that we've been pointing out. These are the things that we've been calling out. There's never been a hatred for Africa from foundational Black Americans. What we're doing now is separating and delineating the same way that they do. Because we found out that while we trying to love and embrace everybody, they coming here just extracting and benefiting while not embracing. And the funny thing is, Elder James Smalls taught this way before we was even teaching FBA, before a lot of us even woke. Elder James Smalls was the one, you know what's funny? He was one of the ones that set the blueprint for what we're talking about, but now he going against everything that he said himself. Look.
You are always in Africa. You got the African Day Parade. You don't see the Africans. You got the festival that be going on in Brooklyn. The band festival, the African festivals. Where's the Africans at? When we doing our rallies and our marches, where's the Africans at on your side? Talk to us really about that, man.
See, let me tell you something. We think slavery in America was something. Slavery in Africa is still in force. You talking about deaf, blind, and dumb. Don't confuse you because somebody got on some printed cloth that's printed in Holland or India that you're looking at an African cultural expression. That's not an African cultural expression. That cloth was printed in a European country and then sold to Africans. And they've accepted that as their cloth. You understand what I'm saying? Just that piece. Now, they do speak the language, but they know less about their history than you and I do. So you've got a deaf, blind, dumb, backwards person speaking an African language, coming from the African country, came here to be a parasite on their own people, with no respect for themselves as human beings, and then because they speak a language, try to play you off like they got something culturally that you don't have. The most culturally enforced African in the world is the African American. Most of the movements that have changed the world, that allow all ethnic nations to profit, has been our movement. And so we get peed on and played down because these people are so punked out and scared of the white man that they feel because they're scared of the white man, they got to be against us.
Are they our people, brother, or are we our own people now?
No, we got to understand two things. We have a race, and then we have an ethnic place. Ethnically, we African Americans. Just like a guy from Africa, he can say he's African, but there's no country called African. He's either Nigerian, Ghanaian, Malian, or something. That's his ethnic nation. Racially, we are together, but economically, we may well be enemies. And we have to be clear on that. That our economic enemy is just that. And if you deal with your economic enemy like it's your friend, you're going to be the loser at the end of the day. Now, we raised the question of Pan-Africanism in this hemisphere. You know, we had the brothers from Trinidad, and then you had W.B. Du Bois, and we created this phenomena. But Africa has never created a Pan-African movement. You understand? Africa has never really supported a Pan-African movement. We had a couple of people in Nkrumah and Julius Nyerere and Mugabe, but most of Africa never gave a damn about a Pan-Africanism because they're still bogged down in the colonial slavery of European Judeo-Christian indoctrination, which is worse than anything that we've suffered. Worse than anything that we've suffered. The illusion of the clothes and the language make us think we're dealing with somebody that has some African purity culturally and spiritually. You're dealing with a confused, backwards Christian that love Europe more than they love their own ancestors. They would not even use an African word for God. You know, in Ghana, if you talk about being a traditional African, you might get beat down in the street. You understand? You're ostracized on the radio. Movies are made to show African culture as being the devil, while Christian culture is coming in as the savior. This is TV shows and on TV in Nigeria.
So now, long before a lot of people was even woke or came into this higher level of consciousness, the elder was teaching this, right? So now all of a sudden, how is it possible that a young disciple like a Tariq Nasheed that come up under you, that looked up to you, that put you in his museum, he held you in high regard, he put you in the Hidden Color series, multiple, many of them, right? And we all was getting information from you as an elder from things that you were teaching. So some of the template for FBA come from some of the stuff that you taught. How is it all of a sudden you get with some Africans and now Tariq has to be a Fed? Why? It's confusing to me, right? So now in this video, Tariq Nasheed responds, but what I'm doing now is highlighting and showcasing the hypocrisy. Because now when you get with some Africans, you go onto a show and you say this.
Getting those things accomplished, supplying those needs. So, freedom of it. Africans want to be free.
Thank you.
You know. But I'm glad to come and hang out with you for a minute, and we get to know each other. But we always knew each other.
Yeah.
We're Africans. We're fighting the same enemies, no matter where we are in the world. They just have a different face on them, maybe a little different strategy. But the biggest thing they're trying to do is make sure to divide us in the West from you on the continent. So if you're going to look at that thing, it's not a rift between some black Americans and some Africans. That's the U.S. State Department. It may have started out with a few ignorant people, but they knew how to take advantage of that ignorance. But I don't even think it started out with a few ignorant people. I think they started it. They tested the water with that first group, that lawyer woman from California and the man, and then somehow they got to Tariq Nasheed. If you remember, Tariq Nasheed was going in just the opposite direction a few years ago. Why did that U-turn occur? Now, like I said,
I was surprised because I watched all the Hidden Colors. That's where I discovered you from the Hidden Colors, and I'm like, how did you move from the Hidden Colors to this? Like, it doesn't, yeah.
Well, he may not be an agent. He just may be disgusted and tired of thinking that he's being taken advantage of by his brothers and sisters from the continent because of his own ignorance. Just like the brothers and sisters from the continent think they're being taken advantage of when they come over here by some of us. And that's from a lack of relationship. And I'm telling you that the State Department and the American Immigration Department is right at the center of that. It's my group, and pay my respects to the family. But we just need to do more things together. We need to learn more about one another's history. Because you can't fight a Tariq Nasheed unless you know history. Now, he's not a good historian, but he got enough facts because he's a good researcher that he can put you back, even when his facts is wrong. So you don't have to have the right facts. You have to have the right methodology to win a debate. But if you get the right facts, his methodology doesn't matter. I can beat him down, but that'll just be another two black people fighting on the internet, and I refuse to do that. I've talked to him privately. I don't feel he has shown the respect he should have, given the conversations we've had about this issue. And I will find a way to even come out more publicly again. I've come out about it publicly many times, but it's a little thing because in one way, but this internet makes it a big thing. But you got to remember, the masses of our people ain't paying no kind of attention to Tariq. The people who go with me on the trip to Africa, the working class people, the middle class people, the retired people, they don't give. And even the young people who go to Africa, they're already Pan-Africanists. They ain't even thinking about him. They're angry with him. And I tell them, don't be angry. Find out what is stimulating that. Because if you don't find the causation, you're not going to solve that problem. And the cause is we need to do more together.
So you saying that the division comes from the State Department. We know this. These are things that in the pro-black sectors, we've been teaching for a long time. We know that the State Department has its hand on the division between the African and the African-American and the Caribbean. They cause a division with these nationalist kites and all these things. We already know this, right? You was my teacher, Elder. I get it. We learned a lot of this stuff from you. So the confusing part is, if you know that, and you clearly understand what Tariq is teaching and talking about, Because a lot of stuff we got from y'all, how do you turn around now and call that man a fed? How do you turn around now and say, well, he was going this way, but now he turned around and went this way, when you understand why he's going this way? Because in this video I just demonstrated, you clearly understand that a lot of these Africans come here, right? And they clearly work against us. Clearly work against us. They become enemies to us by the way that they think and the way that they operate. Not all, because not all Africans are tethers. But the State Department is letting a lot of these tethers in, and we are saying we're separating from them. Tariq Nasheed and a lot of us has clearly said that we don't have a problem with all Africans. We have a problem with those Africans that come here and they run over there, they get a W woman, they get a W man, they start speaking out against our reparations, they start cosplaying it up as us so they can benefit. You know this because you said it in the video. You said it, right? So Tariq Nasheed, he got wind of this, right? And he responded by saying this.
Yeah, the thing with James Small, I know a lot of people are talking about that. James Small, Professor James Small. A lot of people have been on his bumper because he was very, very disrespectful to the lineage, very disrespectful to me. And yeah, he said some little disrespectful stuff before, and I kind of let it slide. I didn't, I'm like, okay. He's in the new movie that we're working on, Hidden Colors 6. And basically what it looks like, because James Small, he was one of the main people talking delineation language. All right. He was one of the first people talking that. He knows what it is. What it looks like, some of that African tour money might be drying up, because a lot of these he's a Pan-Africanist. And a lot of these cats, they make their little money with those African tours. I think he's going on one in December. They take people over there, so drying up. That's their little hustle, and that's up because people are delineating. So, and a lot of ops are in his ear. But the thing is, some people were like, well, yeah, some of the ops got to him. They like to manipulate the elders. My thing is, some of these ops, yeah, they're in your ear for a reason because they know that you have a friendly ear to them. So I'm not going to put it just on the ops, because these same ops be hollering at a lot of different people. Why you listening to them? You understand? You listening to them because you might have to share the same ideology with them. You dig? But with Professor Smalls, yeah, some of the disrespect that he's shown towards me and the family, I've helped Mr. Smalls for real, for real. Truth be told, nobody was really rocking with Professor Smalls until we put him in Hidden Colors, and he said this. Nobody was rocking with Professor Smalls. I mean, he did his thing back in the day, but nobody was really rocking with him. He said this. You know? And a lot of people are saying he's doing some real oppy stuff. I wouldn't put it past. But let me say this for the record. I'm not rocking with Professor Smalls anymore. The disrespect, because I've shown that man nothing but respect. Family that he has a hotel over there in Africa. When it's failing, I gave money to help him out with that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that type of the little disrespect, and he's been kind of doing that. He gets with these tethers and been taking shots at me, but then he just went real disrespectful to me, and there's a point of no return. You know, there's a point of no return with some of the stuff he was saying about me. That ain't so. For the record, I'm letting folks know. Yeah, all that respect the elders. I respect the elders if you are respectable. Because you start kind of lying and saying no ain't true. I have no respect for you at this point. I've lost all respect for Professor Smalls. I don't rock with him. We're taking him out of the movie Hidden Color 6. He's not going to be in it. It's going to be a minute. We're re-editing that. We're taking him out. In fact, I'm going to replace him with about 3 people that I wanted. Yeah, I'm taking all the small stuff out. All of Professor Small stuff is coming out. So yeah, I don't rock with him at all. Not only is all of his stuff coming out, We're taking any reference of him out of the damn museum. We have a mural of Professor Smalls. When I'm going out of town for the week, when I come back and cover it, family, who should we put on the wall of the Hidden History Museum in his place? Y'all give me some suggestions. Yeah, we're going to cover the mural and the whole shebang. We're covering the mural and everything. I am whatsoever. Yeah? Because there was already some little funny stuff in like with that old op-ass Jade, where we had an event and Jade was all in his ear, and then he's all clicked in with her, and she was doing all the. I had a little bad taste in my mouth about him then. So I'm cool in the game. No, I'm not putting no damn Dr. Umar on there. Claude Anderson's already on there. All right, Claude Anderson. We got something about Wani in the museum, by the way.
I'm gonna say this: a lot of our elders of the past see what's going on today, and they see the money that's being made by the generation today with the creation of the internet, right? And a lot of them became poor righteous teachers. They were teaching for a long time, educating the masses, educating us, and they get to an age of 80 and all that kind of stuff. A lot of them are dying in old folks' homes. A lot of them are poor. They don't have the money. They became the poor righteous teachers. And some of them are resentful because of that. And instead of them coming and embracing us, right, what they do is they backbite us. They undercut us, unfortunately. And what go from love comes into resentment now. Because a lot of us had a lot of respect. Like I said, James Smalls was one of my teachers. I had a lot of respect for the elder, right? So I'm not going to come and I'm not going to obliterate him or disrespect him, but I'm disappointed. I don't understand how you could take the stance that you took when everything that we talking now, you taught 30 years ago. You told us this. Now all of a sudden, because you see Tariq making money off of it and cashing out off his people, something that you couldn't do, to me, what I'm seeing now, this is pure jealousy. Because as a Pan-African, if there's so many Pan-Africans all over the world, you should already had your own Hidden Covers movie. You should, the hotel in Ghana should be flourishing because all the millions of Pan-Africans should be donating to your cause because you have over 50 years of putting in the work. Where are the Pan-Africans? How come the Pan-Africans are not helping you get to the level or do the same things that Tariq is doing? A lot of it is jealousy. And it's sad because a lot of our elders that we love and held in high regard, they're not getting the support from the Pan-African community that the FBA community is supporting Tariq. It's jealousy because there's way more Pan-Africans than it is so-called foundational Black Americans. So this conversation that we having now, we shouldn't even be having because the elder, for all the work he put in, he should already have a support for all. If there's really Pan-Africanism, all the countries in Africa should be supporting this elder. All the Pan-Africans in America should be supporting the elder. But because they're not, what happens is he's older now and he's bitter. So what he's showing you is his discontent for Tariq that's actually doing all the things he wish he could have done under the banner of Pan-Africanism. And because he can't do it, this is what's happening right here. This is what's happening. So let's stop with the hypocrisy. And I've been calling this out for a long time. I don't care if you don't like Tariq Nasheed or not. That's beside the issue. If you Pan-Africans don't like Tariq, how come you haven't created your own version of Tariq within the Pan-African structure to actually create your own stuff? You haven't done it. So you mad because he can raise $1 million. Well, where's the Pan-African person that can raise $1 million from Ghana to America and creating movement? I don't see it. Where is it? It's jealousy. That's all it is, man. It's jealousy. Nobody can tell me I'm wrong. I'm right here. I'm seeing it. I love the elder. Elder was one of my teachers. So what I'm saying is we watched Dr. Ben die in an old folks home. Passed away in an old folks home. We saw it. Where was the Pan-Africans? So listen, man, there's a lot of things that I could say, but I'm not going to say, right? But y'all got to let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Until next time. Peace.